Brought to you by Trout Routes. Trout Routes is a premier fishing app that strives to empower trout anglers with information to help you go further and discover new waters, new places, and new faces. Check them out at troutroutes.com. Trout Routes is proud to be able to connect you to local resources and experts, such as fly shops, guides, local brands, and nonprofits. Be sure to check them out at troutroutes.com or the Apple App Store and Google Play Store to download the app today.
Folks, welcome to another episode of On the Limb Podcast with Nature's Voice Game Calls, where deer camp becomes a reality for every listener. Join us as we talk God, family, country, and everything outdoors. Kick back, relax, and have a listen. Now, here's your host and co-host, Mike and Dan.
All right, folks, good morning. It's still morning here in Charleston, West Virginia. Matt's over here looking at his clock. He's like, yeah, it sure is. Folks, we are here live at the West Virginia State Capitol in Charleston, West Virginia for the Sportsman's Conservation Day. And we was invited here by the West Virginia Backcountry Hunters and Anglers chapter. And, we're going to be here till about 2 or 3 today. The legislative session is in session right now. It starts at 11 o'clock. So there are tons of congressional leaders here trying to get bills passed for their different districts. And, we're going to talk to Matt about some of the things that BHA has going on here in a little bit. So I know that most of you all not used to seeing us this early. I forgot my coffee downstairs. It's still downstairs in the loading dock. But anyways, so we're here at the lower rotunda in the Capitol, West Virginia State Capitol. And like-minded outdoorsmen, we're here just to support public lands and the waters to make sure they're preserved for generations to come. So without further ado, please welcome with me Matt Kearns. He is one of the board members for Backcountry Hunters and Anglers here in West Virginia. Matt, you're getting to be a regular here on the show.
I know. I like it.
I mean, we just put out a little sound bite of you there at Fife Street Brewing Company. Man, we had a great time while we was there, didn't we?
Yeah. That was one of our public lands fight nights. We did it in conjunction with the West Virginia Hunting and Fishing Show in Charleston.
Yes, man, we always have a good time there. I look forward to that every year.
And then we were like, hey, man, come on down to Capitol Conservation Day, and you made it happen. So
I know.
Thank you so much.
We talked about this last year, and I wanted to make it a point to get down here this year because we wasn't able to make it last year.
This is only the second year, so you haven't missed much.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. We're kind of frontiering this thing together.
Yeah, so this is kind of still pretty new for us, but we're calling it the West Virginia Sportsman's Capitol Conservation Day. And so we're the West Virginia chapters of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, but it's more than just us. I'm looking around the room. We've got Turkeys for Tomorrow, the West Virginia Deer Association, who I think also represents Pheasants Forever and Quail Forever. Across the room, we've got a giant blow-up turkey from the National Wild Turkey Federation,
Yeah.
Congressional Sportsman's Foundation, West Virginia Bow Hunters, continuing around the rotunda, Trappers Association. We've got the DNR, I think both on the biology and the law enforcement side.
Yeah.
And then the Bear Hunters Association, our table, and then again, West Virginia Backcountry Hunters and Anglers.
So any kind of bills that you all are watching right now to kind of keep an eye on?
So, we're here at the Capitol to kind of advocate for, be the voice for our public lands and waters. The deer can't come here and speak up for themselves.
No, they can't.
So that's our job.
Or the fish.
No. So that's our job. Things have been pretty quiet on the natural resources front. We're always, looking out. There every year kind of seems to be different bills on, OHVs and some off-road access into wildlife habitat, which we don't necessarily love. So we're keeping an eye on that. There's a stream access bill that I think actually might be moving. I know it passed one committee in the Senate.
Okay.
So we like that one. I think it would ask for highways to look at improving access anytime they redo a bridge.
Yeah.
So again, anything that's more public access is a good thing in our book.
Okay.
I know. I think the Turkey Federation is working on a bill for some prescribed fire stuff, kind of reducing some of the permitting burden for habitat improvement work. But you might need to talk to Colley about that specifically.
Yeah, we talked about that there at Fife.
Okay.
You know, we were discussing this a little bit before we got on here live, and we were just talking about, you know, being a part of this, being here at the state capitol. You're obviously going to see a lot of elected officials walking by. We've seen the governor walk by a little bit ago.
Secretary
of State.
Bill Hamilton, chair of Natural Resources Committee. So,
Yeah.
and that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Every, constituency seems to have a day at the legislature. I mean, we're sharing the day. Upstairs is EMS. There's like a farm group upstairs.
Okay.
And we just realized, well, hang on, we're not at the table. We don't have this day. We need to make sure that, we're seen and the folks know we're here and that we're going to advocate for this type of stuff.
So you guys are kind of the front runners for this day and bringing these people together, right?
Again, we're a group of equals and partners.
Yeah.
What's really great is, the relationships I've gotten to meet through this day. The president of the Bear Hunters. I'm, good friends with the Bow Hunter Association. We used to be neighbors.
Yeah, that's cool.
But then, meeting, I know that the guys that were in Turkeys for Tomorrow, they drove down from kind of the Clarksburg area with one of our guys. So it's also about these relationships. And the more we can work together, we're stronger as a group than we are as each individual organization.
Yeah.
That's really what it's all about. So, I mean, we kind of organized it, but we're happy to be here with everybody else.
No, it's awesome. I like it. And you were talking about, kind of getting a perspective on how the everyday life there is in DC, our little state of West Virginia here. We're sitting in the Capitol, and these kind of things happen every day at our nation's capital.
Yeah, it was really interesting for me, just on the drive in, right? I mean, everything that kind of happens with DC and public lands, on a national scale, feels really kind of remote and far away. But then, I live 15 minutes from the Capitol, and the fact that we can, drive in, do this, we're in the place where the decisions are made. We saw the governor, we're seeing the legislatures and the delegates and the senators.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, like, we can make a difference here.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So it feels
it's
very my civic duty, for the day.
Well, it's one of those things. I mean, you got to get out and you got to be involved and you got to get your voice out there and you got to be heard, And this is, like you said, civic duty that we have to do this if we want to get things done and we want change made in areas. So, and we want to keep up the preservation of our lands and our waters. And
or sometimes we don't want change made. I mean,
sometimes we don't want change. You're right.
If there's things that don't happen, you're just like, okay, great. Just,
there's things that you don't want to happen and then you're going to advocate against for sure. Yeah. All right. So we're going to have some other people on here in a little bit. I'm going to have Sean. Sean came down from Buchanan today with Longspur. He's got a bill that he worked with his congressional district there to get passed. I don't know what that bill is.
I think it's 5531 that they worked on for the deer tracking stuff.
Okay.
But I mean, do you want to go into the quick how a bill becomes a law?
Yes.
Schoolhouse
go ahead.
Rock?
Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah. So how it works down here is, we have our House of Delegates and then we have the Senate. A bill gets introduced by a senator or a delegate. It usually gets assigned to one or two committees within that same chamber. They'll kind of, and there's I think we were talking earlier, there's maybe like 1,500.
There's over 1,500 bills that's been introduced.
Yeah. So just because it's introduced, it's got to go through a bunch of hoops.
Yes.
So the first hoop is usually a committee, sometimes one, sometimes two. The members of that committee have to vote on it. And then it goes to the floor and everybody in that House or the Senate will vote on it. And then it switches and goes to the other one. So if it passed the House, then it'll go to the Senate and it'll do the same thing. It'll usually go to a committee, sometimes one, sometimes two. And then if it passes those committees, then it goes down to the floor and then they'll have to vote on it as a whole Senate. And then if it passes both, then it'll go to the governor. So, I mean, only out of that 1,500, I don't know, maybe you're lucky to, lucky is a relative term, depending on if it's a good or a bad bill. But I think only a small percentage of them actually make it all the way through.
Maybe like what, 10%, you think?
Probably. I was going to ballpark that.
Yeah, I would think so myself. Anywhere between 100 and 150, I'd say.
Yeah. So that's kind of how the process works. So, we're talking to people in those committees and on the floor and just trying to keep informed of how things move. Because sometimes they don't move. The committee, it might just stay in committee and never never get voted on.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. As you can hear in the background, there is a lot of people here that have came through, and people are looking at the different tables here. So if you don't care, just kind of go over what all tables are here in the lower rotunda today.
Sure. I kind of did that at the beginning, but we've got turkeys for tomorrow, the West Virginia Deer Association. And again, I think Brent also plays a role with quail and pheasants forever.
Okay.
But don't quote me on that. And then across the rotunda, we've got the National Wild Turkey Federation, and then the Congressional Sportsman's Foundation. Kaylee's pretty good. She actually helps us, keep informed with some of the national issues too. And
that's
it's a really interesting bridge between like what other states are doing. She's got a good eye on that.
Now, do they have a chapter in every state as well?
I think she's more.
Is it just West?
She's like a regional.
Okay,
she drove in from Maryland, but
nice.
She keeps. She's real savvy with that. Keeps tabs on the legislative things, and and it's also good to like, well, what's this state doing, or what's this state doing, or because some of these things aren't really in isolation, right? Things will catch on in a state, and then we'll hear about it, and maybe people will do it here. So it's good to have that perspective.
For sure.
Bowhunters Association, and then the Trappers Association, which is new. They weren't able to make it last year, which is great to see them here. And then again, we have 2 tables from DNR. One of them is their biologists, and the other one is the NRPOs.
Yeah, I love seeing the NRPOs here.
Yep.
I think it's great.
I did see the director as well walking around, got to shake his hand.
Yep. The director, Brett, was here. We're supposed to, there he is out there in the middle.
Yeah.
We're supposed to.
Is he getting a picture with the inflatable turkey?
I think he's going to.
That's great.
Yeah. So we hope to have him on here in a little bit. So we'll see.
And then the Bear Hunter Association, and then us, West Virginia BHA.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, we sure appreciate the invite, man.
Yeah. Quick plug. We got so in addition to all this stuff, this is pretty policy driven, but a lot of it is then boots on the ground conservation work.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a stream cleanup, Paint Creek, last Saturday of March.
Okay.
And then we're in talks with DNR to figure out what they need this summer for habitat work. We've done projects, Burnsville, Stonewall, Cooper's Rock. We usually just see what they need.
Yeah.
And then we'll go out there and chop some olive down or girdle some trees and try and get the invasives out of there.
Nice. So that's coming up when?
The what we call Trash and Trout, which is a stream cleanup, is going to be on Paint Creek last Saturday in March. TBD on the summer's conservation work. We're DNR is still working on their plan for the year.
Gotcha. All right. Well, again, we appreciate you inviting us up, and our big thing here is to keep the public lands preserved and the waters for generations to come, so we can keep enjoying it. So
well, thanks for the extra visibility.
Yep. No problem, man. Any way we can get that out there and get the voice out there, we're trying to do it. So we're going to have some other guests come on here in a little bit. We thank all the legislators that are here, and all the lobbyists and different kind of things that's going on here today to be that voice for us. We sure appreciate them. All righty. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. And not sure what we're going to have next. We might have Brett on, or we may have the West Virginia Bowhunter Association. Do you want the true Western hunt experience? Book your hunt of a lifetime today with Highland Outfitters, LLC. Located in Highland, Wyoming, 50 miles west of Casper. Their location in central Wyoming gives you access to some of the best hunting areas in the state. Highland specializes in archery hunts for elk and antelope. Their operations include Wyoming, Texas, and Africa. Highland Outfitters employ guides in the business. All guides are honest. Map the species. You can count on your guide of being the true professional guide. 797-797-3312. Visit them on the web at HighlandOutfitters.com. With Highland Outfitters, you rue Western adventure. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Will Jewelry and Loan. When you need cash and you need it fast, check out Will Jewelry and Loan. Your jewelry, firearms, electronics, tools, lawn equipment, dirt bikes, side-by-sides, and even four-wheelers. They will be any competitor amount, and that's a fact. Will Jewelry and Loan guarantees faster and more cash for your loan than any other company in the area. They have your cash you need fast. Check them out today on their Facebook page or give them a call at 304-768-5101. Stop in and talk with them at 5520 4323 McCorkle Avenue, Southwest, South Charleston, West Virginia. Will Jewelry and Loan, 304-768-5101. This episode of On Limb Podcast with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Webb Plumbing Incorporated, located at 6202 McCorkle Avenue, St. Albans, West Virginia. Webb Plumbing Incorporated has had master plumbers and HVAC specialists established and serving the Kanawha Valley since 1994. 30 years of commercial and residential service that you can trust. Contact Webb Plumbing today at 304-768-4324 for a free estimate or quote today. You can also visit them on the web at webbplumbing.net. Contact Webb Plumbing Incorporated today at 304-768-4324. Check one. Can you hear me okay?
Got you fine. Hear me?
Okay. Yep, I got you good. Too loud or too
No,
soft?
I'm good.
Okay.
Good.
All righty. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Apparition Scents, an outdoor and sporting goods company based in Dilliner, Pennsylvania. All of their scents developed and hand bottled with strict attention being paid to every detail. Contact them today at 724-998-7646 or check them out at apparitionscents.com. 100% lethal or your money back guaranteed. Get a hold of them today at 724-998-7646 or check them out at apparitionscents.com.
Folks, welcome to another episode of On the Limb Podcast with Nature's Voice Game Calls, where deer camp becomes a reality for every listener. Join us as we talk God, family, country, and everything outdoors. Kick back, relax, and have a listen. Now, here's your host and co-host, Mike and Dan.
All right, folks, we're back. We just had Matt Kearns on with Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. He's one of their board members. We was invited here today to the West Virginia State Capitol for their Sportsman's Conservation Day. So we sure appreciate them inviting us up. And, you know, we have a lot of different tables set down here in the lower rotunda. And we have a special guest right now, Brett McMillian with DNR. He's the director of the West Virginia Division of Natural Resources. So we're going to speak with him for a little bit. Brett, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me this morning.
It's great to have you actually on the show. We've had you on a phone call a couple times, but it's great to have you actually live.
I'm happy to be here. I tell you, this is just a great day to celebrate conservation in West Virginia.
It sure is. Yeah, we sure appreciate you being here. So tell us about some of the things that you all have got going on right now.
Oh, I tell you, we have so many different programs. When you talk DNR as a whole, with all of our different sections, from our wildlife resources section to our law enforcement section, state parks, our energy management folks, there's a gamut of projects. Some of the most exciting that I see right now, I'm really excited about some of the projects that we're about to see come to fruition in the state park system, some of those expansions.
Yeah.
We're also very excited to see the Natural Resources Commission meeting coming up. You know, we changed that venue a while back. This will be the third meeting with the new type of program that we have going, the hybrid / in-person meeting.
Okay.
And the numbers are through the roof. We've made a little more work for ourselves, but I feel like we've got so many more people involved, which is our ultimate goal, is to get the public understanding first what the Natural Resource Commission does,
Yes,
and in how they can play a role in affecting any of these policy and or rule changes.
Yeah, we've talked about that a couple times on the podcast. We've talked with Jason Webb about that, and I didn't really know that the commission, that part of it existed. So, you know, that's a great thing.
You bet. And their statutory responsibility is to set season dates, bag and creel limits. And there's a few other things that they're responsible for, but that's the biggest parts of it that the public seems to have the most question and concern about. How do we change these? How do we do these things? You know, historically, we were required by code to have 4 meetings a year, and of course they would be quarterly. Those meetings would be somewhere in the state, so accessibility was a little bit tough for all citizens of West Virginia.
Yeah.
And it was also on a Sunday afternoon, which also presented some challenges too on that weekend. So this will be our third meeting with our new format, where we changed the venue to 6 locations 4 times a year, which would be at our district office or a suitable location if that district office isn't big enough. We also stream those items, and they're on the YouTube page until the next meeting.
Okay.
So, for example, at most of our meetings, unless there was a really pivotal issue, we may only have 1 or 2 people there. Now we're having over 100 to stream the meetings. We had, I think, 30 people in person last time, but we've had over 1,500 views on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
So we're really getting the message out there, and I just want more folks to be involved. The commission's very important.
Yeah.
It does provide that social ability for folks to come in and see those commissioners and talk with them and get their thoughts on it. This meeting coming up is very important because what's happening, our wildlife resources staff and the biologists have looked at the game tags from last year, the studies that they performed, a variety of things that generate the ideas or proposals that they present to the commissioners for the upcoming season dates. So this meeting, our staff will present those proposals to the commissioners. We'll then have our sectional meetings, which is where the commissioners and my staff take those proposals out to the general public.
Okay.
And then at our second quarterly meeting in April, we'll come back, tally all that information, and put the votes out to see what happens for this particular season. So it gives us an opportunity to move much quicker than any type of government operation has ever been intended to.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of the commission. There's that ability for the public to be involved, and we can make sure that those season dates and timelines are met for this calendar year.
Okay, great. Yeah, that may be something that we might want to get interested in and help you guys get that out there a little more if you're trying to get it out there to the public. Because with social media the way it is today, I mean, it's really I don't know, it's become a lot online. You know, a lot of people don't read much anymore. They watch things, they listen to it. So
Exactly.
It's kind of crazy how the times have changed on that. I mean, you still have the people that read your magazines and newspapers, but it's few and far in between because the newspaper doesn't send out as many as they used to.
You're right. Those print magazines and articles are definitely challenged. But yeah, this meeting's this Thursday night, the 19th at 6 p.m. And you're right. If folks don't want to come out to the meeting, they can live stream it. They can watch it afterwards.
Yeah, that's great.
And they can also send those comments in electronically. You don't have to be present. You don't have to go to a sectional meeting. Those just give you an opportunity if you want to get face-to-face with someone. But you can submit all your recommendations online. I get them daily, believe me. And
I guarantee
I'm tickled to death. I
Yeah.
mean, and I'll be quite honest about it. I've been in the DNR for years, and I didn't follow the commission too closely either until I realized what the actual importance of it was. And we just want to ensure that that commission's there and viable, and we're able to continue this method of getting the public involved. I mean, after all, they're paying for everything. It's the licensed dollars that make it happen.
That's right. Yeah. So what bills are being introduced during this legislative session that you guys are watching out for? Or has any of them been presented by any of you guys?
We don't have any agency bills that we're recommending for passage this year. There's a few bills that are running. Yesterday, for example, in House Gov Org, we had an upland bird bill.
Okay.
We're watching it to see where it goes. And the genesis of that bill would add a $25 resident upland stamp to your license package in order to hunt upland birds in West Virginia. Landowners were exempted. So I'd encourage the public to watch those and put their comments in on those type of things. We have there's a state park bill with the endowment fund, which is moving out of House Finance, or it's in House Finance right now.
Okay.
And fortunately, it's pretty quiet. Those are probably the two biggies running, unless I'm missing one now. I've heard some rumors about a pricing bill coming forward, but nothing significant at all. So we're pretty fortunate. I think things in DNR are in a good spot right now. We've reviewed all of our policies, or everything seems to be in a good spot. Okay, great. Yeah. I mean, I tell you, growing up here in West Virginia, I have loved enjoying the West Virginia outdoors. And, we sure live in a beautiful state. You're right. It truly is almost heaven. I completely agree, and I echo those same comments. I'm a small town West Virginia guy. Hunting fish this is what we do. Yeah, that's what we do. All right, Brett. Well, we sure appreciate you coming on and talking this morning, and hope you enjoy the session. I sure do. Thanks for being here, and thanks for having me. Yep. Anything we can do to help out, you sure let us know. Will do. Thank you. All right. Thank you, sir. All right, guys. So we're going to be back here in a minute. We're going to have, I believe, maybe somebody on from the West Virginia Bowhunters Association. But until then, I'm going to play some of our ads here for some of our partners, and we're going to talk to some of those guys. Appreciate you all. Thanks for listening. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Carts Towing and Timco Auto Transport. Local and long-distance towing, auto recovery, roadside assistance, auto lockouts, and jump starts. And they also do repossessions. Give them a call today at 304-949-2323 or 304-925-0858. Again, that's Carts Towing and Timco Auto Transport, 304-949-2323, 304-925-0858.
This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Carts Towing and Timco Auto Transport. Local and long-distance towing, auto recovery, roadside assistance, auto lockouts, and jump starts. And they also do repossessions. Give them a call today at 304-949-2323 or 304-925-0858. Again, that's Carts Towing and Timco Auto Transport, 304-949-2323, 304-925-0858. Do you want durable 100% carbon fiber arrows? Warhead Arrow Company. Warhead Arrow Company is 100% carbon fiber constructed hunting arrows with bone-shattering penetration. Durable, tough, yet reliable when it comes to the moment of truth. Their target arrows are world-class in accuracy and precision, an arrow that target archers can depend on to reach the top of their game. Warhead Arrow Company. Check them out today at warheadarrowco.com. That's Warhead Arrow Company. warheadarrowco.com. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Stick Tamer Bow Silencers. Are you a traditional archery hunter or shooter? Stick Tamer was specifically designed for the recurve shooter. Made of a hybrid foam rubber material, Stick Tamer is designed to deaden string slap and limb vibration. Stick Tamer reduces limb and string noise, water resistant, and lasts shot after shot. Made in the USA from a hybrid foam rubber for durability. To purchase Stick Tamer and for more information, visit .com and blackwidowbows.com. Stick Tamer bow silencers are available exclusively at threeriversarchery.com and blackwidowbows.com.
Folks, welcome to another episode of On the Limb Cast with Nature's Voice Game Calls, where deer camp becomes a reality for every listener. Join us as we talk God, family, country, and everything outdoors. Kick back, relax, and have a listen. Now, here's your host and co-host, Mike and Dan.
All right, folks, we're back here in West Virginia at the Charleston Capitol here in Charleston, West Virginia. We're in the Lower Rotunda. We were invited here with backcountry hunters and anglers for the West Virginia Sportsman's Conservation Day. So we sure appreciate them inviting us up here to the state capitol to be here with, a lot of like-minded outdoorsmen so that we can be sure that public lands and waters are preserved for generations to come. Sean Butler, I told Sean about this day and made sure that he was able to try to come down here and be a part of it. So I don't think you've been a part of this before, have you, Sean? Well, not this actual day, but you've been here a lot.
We came down last year.
Oh, did you?
Okay. And took part with the West Virginia Deer Association.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Yeah, Sean's not a stranger to the show. He's been on the show plenty of times. They're one of our ad partners. So with Long Spur Tracking and Outfitting. So without further ado, Sean, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing great. Weather looks like it's getting better outside.
Yeah, it sure does, don't it?
Itching to get out and do some spring things.
There you go. Spring gobbler season's on its way in.
The countdown's on.
The countdown's on, that's for sure.
That's right.
So we were just speaking here a little bit about a bill that you have that's been introduced, and you've noticed that yesterday it's actually going in.
Which surprised me. I was told it wasn't going to have much of a chance.
Yeah.
It's still on life support, even though it's been introduced. So I'm going to have to go do a little talking here in a few minutes.
Well, that's good.
Session. Yeah, I mean, it's every once in a while. I try not to come down every year and pester them, but sometimes I do have to come in back-to-back years. And it's just things to help trackers and drone pilots out there to improve wounded game recovery in the state of West Virginia.
For sure.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that bill that is being introduced.
That's a great, one of the things we've had, it came down and we got it added into a bill to be able to handler dispatch.
Okay.
There's been a gray area for 3 years. That being, can a handler use a sidearm or does it have to be the weapon in season? And we've never gotten an official written, what it's going to be.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. So we wanted to clean that up. And what we introduced, hopefully we'll get some steam behind it because DNR was concerned everybody with a dog would be running out and shooting deer.
Yeah.
So our version is for the licensed trackers that are licensed through DNR to be able to dispatch with a pistol at any time.
Okay.
Day, night, bow season, doesn't matter.
And would it have to be in a certain circumstance that would be the case?
The circumstance would be the case that the animal has to be mortally wounded.
Okay.
It can't be just a flesh wound and you run them down and just, no, it has to be a mortally wounded animal.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously here in West Virginia, you can't hunt with the dogs.
Right.
Deer hunt wise.
Right.
You can't hunt with drones. I know you guys have drone services.
Yes.
So, there'd have to be some kind of stipulation there within that bill to where you were allowed to engage that weapon for that.
Yes. And so put a sentence in the bill to clarify a drone pilot, even though he may be a licensed outfitter, can never dispatch an animal.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the animal can't be dispatched.
So that would be a part of this bill?
Yes.
Okay.
And the animal can't be dispatched if the drone's in the air. So a pilot can't sit there and guide a hunter into the animal for dispatch. He has to land a drone, say, this is the location of the animal. I'll see you later.
Nice.
Okay. The drone pilots are different. I I am one, but
Yeah.
we shouldn't. Drone pilots should not be dispatching animals or directing a dispatch, because then that can very easily turn into directing a hunter on a hunt for a deer, and we don't want that. We don't want to go down that slippery slope.
Yeah, I don't think that's something that West Virginia is going to allow, because I know some states are allowing that now, right?
No, I don't know of any state that allows a drone for the use of hunting.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean it's a no. I mean,
what about like scouting?
That's another gray
little gray area there.
West Virginia, we have a pretty tight drone law that says you cannot use a drone to harass or hunt game.
Yeah.
So as long as you're not harassing, like we use them in our business for biological surveys, and I try to do those outside of hunting season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do them during hunting season. You don't want to leave any room for interpretation. Number one, for law enforcement, or number two, for the general public to say you're using that drone to hunt with.
Well, it could be a disturbance to the habitat, could it not?
It could. Well, I mean, if you fly low enough, it could be.
Yeah, I mean, and the noise factor for the animals itself.
Yes.
I mean, they're not used to that, obviously.
Right. But when we're flying in an acceptable height, which is 400 feet on level, you don't know we're there.
Yeah, I hear you.
So now, if you're flying at 50 feet off the ground and you're buzzing an alfalfa field, the deer are going to know you're there.
Yeah.
And it says you can't herd or harass. So once you start moving and harassing them,
definitely.
So you better get up in altitude or back off on distance.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
All right, so we were talking there on the phone the other night, and we've got some exciting news that you were going to talk about.
Oh, okay.
So your all's app, has kind of been reconstructed.
Yes.
And it's just like the innovation it's
picking
very well done from what I've heard.
We started out with the Blood Trails app.
Yes.
And the first version of that, I couldn't get developers that were hunters.
Okay.
And it's tough. It's tough for me as a hunter to explain to a person that's looking at their salad trying to develop the app with their man bun.
Oh.
Okay. Just saying. To get them to understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So then we decided to go that was the first iteration of it, was an actual app on Google App Store and Apple, the Apple App Store. Our second, as we converted it, we went to a progressive web app, and the guy that did it did a really good job. He just wasn't up to the new way of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to bring everything in-house. So now our app developer works for us.
Awesome.
And I shouldn't only say he works for us, he's a business partner.
Yeah.
And so we can sit down at the house across the table and say, this is what we want to do. And he sits there and builds it.
Mm-hmm.
And he builds quickly. When we run a test, we'll run a Longspur guys and say, everybody sign in, everybody put a hunt request in, everybody, let's try to mess the system up.
Yeah.
If we find a bug, he fixes it like in seconds. It's not a process of, okay, we got a bug. The bug's going to cost 10 grand to fix. I need to get, number one, raise money. Number two, get the app developer on board. Number three, to see if it's even feasible to fix that bug.
Yeah.
No, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I believe that a lot of R&D like that should be trying to mess it up so that you don't have those things pop up with people.
That's what we do.
Using the app, you know what I mean?
We've learned a little
being
bit.
Proactive.
We've learned a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to get in a rut when you're going to get 600 calls.
No.
And all of a sudden have a crash.
Yeah.
So we like to figure that stuff out ahead of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the other night when we went live to show off the app for the first time, of course, there was a national Supabase crash, which is what we run our app off of.
Oh, man.
So it took me a while during the live before I could get in the app. I couldn't do my split screen. I had to hold the phone up, but hey, improvise. So,
okay. So what I'm going to do here real quick is I'm going to do a little screen share.
Okay.
I'm going to take some people over to the website here, and you can just guide us through, kind of like what you've done the other night.
Okay.
But this will actually be on the actual app website.
Yeah. One of the things I like to do, this is the landing page for the app.
So I'm going to go over there now.
Okay. So right there is your landing page. And one of the things I always point out to people, we're constantly working on this. So one of the ways you can see what we're doing is there's an update button just on the top of the screen there, and you can click on that and you can see the real-time updates and what we have going on. Okay. So you know what's coming out next. And right now, one of the next thing that's coming out is the ability of the app to text you as well as send you a push notification.
Okay.
So for a tracker that say he's tracking in Mingo County, has 1 bar service, he's not going to get a push notification from an app, but he will get an SMS text.
Okay.
So that is a big improvement.
See, I see that they're SMS delivery improvements.
Yes. So we're always doing bug fixes. You'll see the new stuff pop up. Very shortly, you're going to see user profiles. Trackers will have profiles. You'll be able to see the picture of your tracker or drone pilot that's going to come service your track. So you kind of know what to expect. Okay. Hunters will have user profiles. And we'll be able to grade each other. Hunters can grade the trackers and the pilots, and the pilots and the trackers can grade the hunters, because sometimes you get a bad hunter. I'm just going to tell you, you do.
Yeah.
And you don't want to necessarily broadcast it, but you know, behind the scenes in the tracking community, some hunters get blackballed. So, you know, we show up and you're drunk or you're dangerous with your weapon or you almost shoot us or something, you know.
Okay.
So
it's kind of crazy that you actually encounter some things like that, but
yeah, we can make
I can only imagine, you know.
We can make a whole nother 2 shows. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, you know, instant notification. We'll be doing GPS location sharing. So when the tracker's on the way, you'll be able to see where they're at. Okay, yeah, there's 45 minutes out. I probably need to be at my gate.
Yeah.
You know, type thing. So it's going to be, I mean, pretty cool. And as a hunter, whenever you need our services, it takes you about 90 seconds to fill out the interview. And
quick.
It's quick.
Real quick connections.
So that 90 seconds, I had somebody tell me, well, I'm not very digitally capable. I hate getting on there and wasting time. If you call down a Facebook list of trackers, you're going to spend 90 seconds on each phone call. You're going to look the guy up or the gal up. You're going to dial the number. You're probably going to get a voicemail during the busy season. You're going to have to leave a voicemail. You're probably going to do that 30 or 40 times before you get somebody that's free.
Yeah.
So this, you do it one time, 190 second, fill it out, send it in, boom. Every tracker in your state, every drone pilot in your state is notified.
Nice.
So, I mean, it's.
So what kind of assurance does these hunters have when they call in and request a tracker? What kind of vetting process do they go through?
That's a great question. They put in to our app. They don't just like you can't just buy a spot on the app. You can't just apply and we pencil whip you.
Gotcha.
It comes in. We have basically your tracking or your drone resume. And then the first thing I look for is years of experience on trackers and lifetime recoveries. Okay. And then the second thing I look for is on drone pilots. Do they have a FAA Part 107 pilot's license? Because if they don't, we don't let them on the app. So we suggest go get your FAA Part 107, because anytime you're doing something commercial in the United States, you have to have that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And that tells us we kind of know what you're doing with the drone. It doesn't mean you know what you're doing to recover game, but we know you know how to fly. You're not going to just go out there and break your drone out of the box for the first time and then fly into somebody's house or something.
Yeah.
So, but we vet. We're setting up a state chapter system where each state will have a tracking boss and a drone boss, so that we can start bouncing some of this vetting off of them, because these are going to be people that are in the know in their states. And we can say, hey, do you know John Doe? He says he has a blue tick hound and he's tracked for 3 years and he has 600 recoveries, which that sounds kind of fishy. And then that drone or tracking boss will be able to say, woo, he ain't for real.
Yeah.
He ain't for real.
Got you.
Okay. So we want the best of the best out there. I don't care if they charge or if they're free.
Yeah.
I want the best of the best though.
So there is scamming going on when it comes to this.
Oh, there is scamming going on.
Really?
Yeah, and you got to watch yourself. You know, especially in the pet world, on the drone side, people have a lost pet and they'll request a drone pilot. And if the drone pilot said, you know, the first thing is, well, I got to have you sending me Cash App,
Yeah.
you might want to turn around and run the other way, because they're going to take your money and never show up and fly and look for your dog. And if they start doing that on the deer side, you better watch it. Yeah. We're always threatening to get some of these hunters to put a deposit down, though, because they track shop.
Really?
Yes. So,
Okay.
yeah, but yeah, we're going to vet heavily. I think we have a pretty good grasp on what a good tracker is.
Yeah, definitely.
And what a good drone is. So.
Yep. Nice. So speaking of lost pets,
yeah,
have you all ever thought about kind of getting into that market?
Well,
is it a big thing?
I've had 3 calls today while I've been here.
Just today alone?
Just today alone.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 in Braxton County, 1 in Lewis County. And so I have the drone in my vehicle, and I'm going to go.
That's something that I never, obviously us as being outdoorsmen, we just think of it on the hunting side of it.
Right.
But that's crazy that on the public side with, your pets.
Yeah. And pets are, it's a special, some people have special connections with their pets. It's like they lose their kid.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So we have to get out there and just give it a good effort. And it's a different, yeah, we're used to dealing with hunters that might be crying, but we're definitely dealing with pet owners that are crying.
I have a story about a lost pet.
Okay.
This was just a week ago. So the little dog that we used to have, it was the kid's first dog.
Right.
We were renting a place, and this was 15 years ago or so. And we got this dog. So she's an older dog, just a real little dog.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember what kind of dog she is, but anyways, she's blind and she's deaf.
Ah, okay.
So my parents are elderly. They let her outside to use the bathroom. Went to go do something real quick, come back, and she's gone. This is snow on the ground.
Right.
So as well as anybody else, when there's cover on the ground and you don't have your natural stuff, that they lose their kind of scent, don't they?
Right.
So she lost the scent and where she was. So she started walking in circles. And she started going everywhere. So they called me. They're like, the dog's gone. Roxy's gone. Where she's at. I'm like, oh my God. This is right after the big snow.
Right.
It's freezing cold. And I'm thinking, I'm going to go find her and she's going to be dead. This was like an hour after the fact.
Right.
So I go and I'm looking and I'm like, my tracking instinct, just naturally from being a hunter kicks in. And I'm like, I got to follow where she's going, whether it's in circles or what.
Right.
So in the snow, I'm tracking all her little steps.
Right.
And I go up and I'm like, probably, I don't know, I'd say I'm probably 150, 200 yards from the house.
Mm-hmm.
And then it starts to go up a big embankment and it's real, there's all kinds of briars and everything.
Yes.
I would have not seen her setting in that briar bush if she hadn't have turned her head, because I was whistling. Right. I know that she can still hear the high pitch of a whistle.
Right.
But she can't hear nobody talk or anything like that.
Right.
So I was whistling and she turned her head and I just seen her head turn and she's sitting there in the snow. She gave up.
Oh, wow.
If I hadn't have found her, she'd have died right there on the side of the mountain.
Right.
But I went over there and I crawled through the briar bush to get her, and she was shivering and, and I was like, man, I can't imagine what's going through her mind. She's just like, I'm giving up. This may be the end of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I pick her up and take her back, and she's just like all excited. She knew as soon as she got on the porch, she could smell, and she knew where she was.
But yeah, the lost pet market, I'm glad you got her back. That's just
yes. My dad was terrified. He was like, I thought she was gone forever. Because that's kind of like their kid.
Yeah.
Like you say, you get attached to these animals, and we gave them this dog after my brother passed away, and it kind of set as comfort for them to have her there.
Right.
So they care for her like a child.
Yeah. So, right now with the pet recoveries, we run it as part of our long spur tracking group. But one of the things we have to be careful of, a lot of fur mamas and fur daddies are not hunters.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're mixing 2 different worlds. It can be some very clashing worlds.
For sure.
So, we're looking at doing something about that soon.
Okay.
But we do lost pets at pretty much every day.
Nice. Well, that hadn't even came up, but we were talking there on the phone the other night, and you had discussed some pet recoveries that you had done, and I was like, "Is that really a big thing?" And you were like, "You wouldn't believe it."
Yeah.
So
and the other thing is, a lot of times it's a service that we don't charge for.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a business. We do have to make money. So
Obviously, yeah.
so what we'll do is we'll try to crowdfund some of these. And as we've done this, that's what we've been doing. Just trying to crowdfund. Hey, we went and did this job for free. Could you help them out?
No, that's great. And you've even mentioned that that's happened in the tracking part of it too,
yeah.
for animals.
Oh yeah.
Like, when it comes to the kids and different things like that, you've actually had people that have chipped in and said, "Hey,
pay it forward.
Go
get the next kid.
Go get the next one." That's awesome.
Yeah, we've had that happen.
It lets us know that there's still good people in the world.
Yeah. And,
as much bad as that goes on,
Right.
little things like that make a big difference in somebody's life.
Right, it does. So, and I'm all about that paying it forward. And
for sure,
and we see it when we do a free track or a free drone flight on the hunting side. We do about it or beat our chest or get on Facebook and say, "Oh, we tracked for free last night, recovered it. Hey, we did a great job, ourselves on the back." Don't do that. We just it's a normal story, and then we'll go do the next one, and you don't know who the next one could be for. And we do a recovery, and it turns out. And I've had cases where it turns out, it's a wealthy business person.
Yeah.
And they're so happy they give you 3 or 4 times the amount you quoted.
That's awesome.
And you look back and you're like, it comes around. I mean, you do good, comes around.
For sure.
And so we're looking, we're proud that we do the pet recovery stuff.
Yeah.
But we may have to run it under a different name at some point in time.
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah.
No, it's funny that you talk about that. We've talked about that, in other podcasts that, as long as we live, there'll be seed time and harvest.
Yes.
And, we as Christians or, just people need to pass that forward. And it's not that you're doing it obviously because you're going to reap something back.
Right.
That's a benefit from it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So I'll tell you this story real quick. I don't want to take up all your time.
No, you're fine. I want to hit briefly on never mind. Go ahead.
Oh,
I lost my train of thought there for a minute.
Right. Well, right there at the 1st of January. Well, it was Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. We got a call. It was 3 degrees outside. And the lady that called us was pretty frantic. Her and her husband and their daughter were visitors in from Washington, D.C., staying at an Airbnb. And their German short-haired pointer the night before had chased a deer.
Oh.
From their Airbnb. And where they were staying at, I'm telling you, Mike, this was.
Oh, I guarantee.
Okay. So when it went up and over the hill, it was in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So we mobilized pretty quickly, got out there and flew. I flew for an hour and a half, and basically I crossed off 600 to 700 acres where the dog wasn't at. And Chrissy walked 300 acres in below 10-degree weather trying to pick up tracks because we just got a fresh snow the night before. So dog's been gone for 22 hours. We get contacted. We show up, 24 and a half, 25 hours later. We're like, she's not right here. This is on Sunday. So they're going back to Washington, D.C. on Monday. It's a holiday.
Yeah.
And they tell us, well, I said, we're not done. We're going to continue looking. We'll put out Facebook posts. We'll try to find your dog. I said, but in the meantime, as we head home, we're going to drive way around here.
Yeah.
And we're going to see if we can Sportsman through the backcountry and so I said, well, I can't stop on this hill because it's slick. I'm like, I'm going to get to the top of the hill, find a place to turn around, we'll go back. I get up to the top of the hill, turn around, come back, and then I said, there's dog tracks all over here. and it's from the office of the U.S. House of Representatives, Congressman Gabe Vatt.
Really?
He didn't try to pull any power moves or anything. And so you got to come out here now. He just said, I lost my dog. Can you help me? As that's what his wife told us. We got out there, we went out, we helped him, and we didn't find out till 3 weeks later who he was. And the news picked up on that because I posted his letter. I thought it was very nice. It was in, gold sealed envelope, in the U.S. House of Rep, handwritten note. Just a nice, it's something that'll be in the Longspur archives forever.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's awesome, man.
And our local news, WBOY, picked up on it, and they've run 2 or 3 pieces about it.
I love that news channel.
Yeah, they do a good
we
job.
reference a lot of their stuff.
Yeah, and they did an awesome story on it. So
yeah, they do a really good job. They're really good when it comes to the outdoors in West Virginia. Things that are, a lot of our news companies seem like that it's not about West Virginia news,
right?
But they're all about West Virginia news,
right?
They do a really good job of bringing up stuff with the outdoors, agriculture, and
right.
Yes, sportsmen and stuff like that. So
yes, they do.
Hunting, fishing, all that stuff. But yeah,
okay.
All right. So what I was going to ask you was, you've had a couple of articles that you've done with Outdoor Life.
Oh yes.
So tell us a little bit about those articles, because we had an issue here in West Virginia with EHD.
Yes, we did.
And you mentioned that you're using the drones to kind of do the biological studies and stuff like that.
So what happened was, West Virginia had a historic EHD die-off in western West Virginia, over in Wood County, parts of Wirt, Jackson, Roan, Ritchie, Pleasance, Tyler, a little bit of Wetzel, and then it started creeping across into Harrison County, and actually got about 8 miles away from me in Upshur County. So but we did, and I'm not bashing anybody, but I will say with EHD, Ohio DNR is like top notch on the ball, and our DNR is a little antique. I almost messed that word up, but they're a little behind the 8 ball on that stuff. They don't have reporting apps. They don't. They let the voicemails add up, and so people started calling us because they knew we had the ability to come out in the field, count deer, and they wanted that done on their property. So we did all of that for free this fall.
Oh, wow.
Just ran out, spent a lot of time over in that country, went to meetings, Farm Bureau meetings, spent a lot of time on the phone, did some herd survey counts. We're coming up with some incredible death rates in some of those drainages. I mean, 95% deer loss in some of those areas.
Wow.
And as we did this, we kept reporting it on Facebook, and we kept getting more reports in. So we started keeping an impromptu map of everything that's going on in West Virginia. And Outdoor Life picked up on that and wanted to interview us. And so we did. And out of that was born a couple of things. We decided, with myself being a biologist, to do a EHD study. Number one, we have 2 or 3 properties over in Wood and Wirt County and just across the river in Washington County, Ohio, that we're going to be studying the bounce back of EHD deer. Okay. And then in Upshur County, we have a couple properties that, one is a control that we're not touching, other than your normal throw out some corn, put some trail cams up and hunt it. And then we have 600 acres where we're going to intensively manage to see if we create a healthy herd, can they withstand EHD during the next outbreak?
Oh yeah,
which we're expecting. I mean, it's going to happen. We get a dry summer. Since it quit 8 miles away from us.
It's something that we discussed several times. I didn't know myself that this had happened before. I hadn't done much research on it. Hadn't really heard about it. It wasn't something that's normally out there and people talk about. So that's why we kind of done several segments on it.
Yes.
But you hear about CWD a lot.
Right.
But this new one came in for us, EHD, and we're like, well, what's EHD? And we're like, started doing some research, and this is not the first time it's happened in West Virginia.
No. Well, this last summer we had the outbreak where the counties I just mentioned. The summer before, it was Marion, Mon County, part of Barber, part of Taylor County, up into Greene and Washington County, PA. Had some incredible kills up that way that just weren't really covered by the media. And if you try to go back on DNR website and find any information, you're going to not find much information.
No.
And here's a problem we have as in the deer hunting community. Everybody yells CWD, CWD, but ask your local biologist how many deer they've collected that have died from CWD, not died with CWD. It's kind of the COVID thing, okay, all over again.
I got you.
But EHD kills thousands upon thousands of deer yearly. And we put no money towards studying it. We don't know if there's preventions. We don't know. Instead, we're putting all our money to CWD.
Yeah, it's definitely something that needs to be that has to have more input.
I would
and
love,
funds allocated for that.
I would love to see like a 75% allocation taken away from CWD study, because what we're finding out on that side, I think that disease has been here. It doesn't kill deer like quick.
Well, there's a lot of things that's been debunked about CWD that wasn't true in the beginning. Tons of studies were done that didn't need to be done, in my opinion.
Yes.
And we know, what causes CWD now.
Yes, so we need to divert that money
we do
to
the EHD
and start figuring
how
that
can
out.
we start mitigating these midges from collecting in these ponded areas and things like that. And
it may end up falling back on landowners to do and NRCS to do a better job of working together to mitigate mud. No cattle in ponds. You should have a water trough below the pond. You keep the pond fenced off so you don't have a mud pocket going on. It's these midges.
That's the breeding ground.
Salty mud.
Mud.
If you have a salty stream, like a lot of let's say a lot of gas wells are discharging brine water.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. So you're actually talking about like salt licks and stuff like natural salt licks.
Natural salt licks can do it, but
so we use
mineral licks.
Yeah, mineral licks.
Man-made mineral licks.
That's
where
crazy.
they eat down in and become a pool of water, and then
to think of that.
Yeah, you could be killing your own deer.
We used to hunt in salt licks.
Yeah,
in Pocahontas County.
Yeah. One of the big things is these muddy cattle ponds, because the cattle are urinating. That's a salt.
Yeah.
It's salty. It turns salty mud, and then you get this huge midge hatch. So, what are some of the things we're studying is like we're going to try to provide some mid slope and ridgetop water sources.
Yeah. One of our actually the producer for our show, Caleb Kearns, he done an episode on his little own watering hole.
Yeah,
that he done out of just like a tank.
Yeah, and you put a camera on that, and they'll use it more than they will a feed source.
Yeah.
And you can mitigate mud like that, putting gravel or pea gravel around it and keeping your mud down. So then your bucks, and your does, instead of having to travel to a muddy creek bottom or a muddy swamp area to get water, they're up on a ridge top.
Yeah.
And you're not getting a midge hatch up there.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And
makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So, it's something we're studying. And then that circles back to the Longspur app. One of the next things we're going to do is EHD reporting inside the app. You can take pictures, you can send coordinates. It's going to have a heat map of possible cases and probable outbreaks.
No, I think that's great. I mean, that's so needed right now.
Yep.
Since we've started bringing this subject up and it's became a bigger issue, and
yes, sir.
We're just getting to know about more of it, and I think we need to put money toward it, like you're saying.
Yes, sir.
All right, Sean. Well, I sure appreciate your time this evening, today. We're used to being on in the evening.
Yeah, so
I'm not used to being on in the middle of the day like this.
No, me either. That's for sure.
But appreciate you making the trip down, and
thank you, sir.
Hopefully it was worth it.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
Hey, it was worth it being on air with you. I'm telling you.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
All right, buddy. We appreciate you. All right, guys. So we're going to take a break here. Hear a word from our sponsor, and we'll probably have somebody else on, whoever wants to talk. I'm not sure. Maybe get somebody on from the West Virginia Bowhunters Association, or I know Jason Webb was down here a little bit ago. He's up in the session now, so we may end up talking to him later on. But we sure appreciate everybody listening in and watching the live there. We're on Facebook on our both pages, Nature's Voice Game Calls, on the Limb podcast page. We've also created a Rumble page, so we're also there live right now. So be sure to share it out there, and we appreciate it. We'll be back in just a little bit. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa.
Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering the United States, West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering the United States, West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Ohio. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering the United States, West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today.
Get ready for your next adventure. Longer days, warmer water, and brighter skies. There's no better time to hit the water and chase a little coastal magic. Whether you're booking a fishing charter, a sunset cruise, or just want to float and breathe, Coastal Marsh has got your summer adventure waiting. Departing daily from Little River, contact Captain Chris today at 304-807-7577 or book via email at chris@coastalmarscharters.com. Let's make this summer one for the books.
Folks, welcome to another episode of On the Limb Podcast with Nature's Voice Game Calls, where deer camp becomes a reality for every listener. Join us as we talk God, family, country, and everything outdoors. Kick back, relax, and have a listen. Now, here's your host and co-host, Mike and Dan.
All right, guys, we're back here at the West Virginia State Capitol. We've been invited here with the West Virginia Backcountry Hunters and Anglers chapter. And This is the Sportsman's Conservation Day, and there's tons of little booths around here for information and outdoor organizations here in West Virginia that's trying to get their organization out there so that people can, just come and find out about them and get their voice heard. So, today, we've had a lot of good people on the show. Britt McMillian, the director of the West Virginia DNR, we had him on earlier. Had Sean Butler on. We was talking about a bunch of different good things with him. So we're here till 2 p.m. today or a little after. We're down in the lower part, the lower rotunda here at the West Virginia State Capitol in Charleston, West Virginia. So, we're here with like-minded outdoorsmen, making sure that our public lands and waters are preserved for generations to come. So I'd like to thank all the legislators and congressional members that are here during the session and being the voice for us there and helping us with these bills that we want to get passed and some of them that we might not want to get passed. So, one of BHA's missions is to conserve public lands, waters, and access for hunting, fishing, and responsible outdoor recreation for all, public lands. And we sure appreciate them for being the voice there for us on that. So I have Jeremiah Whitlatch here with the West Virginia West Virginia Trappers Association. So, Jeremiah, how are you doing today?
Pretty good. How are you?
I told you I was going to mess that name up. I butchered that. I'm sorry.
No problem.
No, but we've been trying to get someone on from the West Virginia Trappers Association for a while. Me and Dan been talking about it. I personally don't trap, but Dan's a trapper, and he'd have more good questions for you than me. But we're going to just kind of talk about what the West Virginia Trappers Association is and kind of what you guys are looking for out of this today.
Okay, so the West Virginia Trappers Association was founded in 1967 by a group of, obviously trappers.
Yeah.
Back in the group. But it has evolved from, we feel, the word trapper to we are fur bearer managers, first and foremost, conservationists and educators. That's our three goals that we want to do with this association is fur bearer management. We're not out here to, get rid of any certain species, try to get rid of any fur bearer. We want to be able to manage them plus conserve them all at the same time.
Yeah.
But that's our main focus. And of course, education. We want to educate the public and show them that it is a tool that can be used to protect your livestock, to protect your gardens, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Trapping is a tool.
Yeah.
It's not what society likes to try to, portray us as these brutal, hardcore barbarians. And we're not that. We're not that. Most trappers love the animal more than any of these antis do. Okay. That's why we want to conserve them.
Yeah.
We don't want to get rid of them. We want to make sure that they flourish so we can continue to do what we do.
Now, some people would say, well, we want to get rid of coyotes, obviously.
No, we don't want to.
There's a purpose for coyotes.
There is a purpose for coyotes. There's a purpose for everything.
Yeah.
If we don't have that, that equilibrium between all the fur bearers, one either becomes overpopulated and then starts spreading diseases. I mean, several years ago is the way with the skunks. They got too overpopulated because not enough of them were being trapped, and they got rabies, distemper, and all that, and it decimated that population for a while.
Okay.
We don't want rid of the coyotes. They just need to be managed.
They need to be managed a lot better. Yeah.
Yes.
I got you. So what are some of the bills or any kind of legislation that's going in right now? It's been, put forth that you guys are looking out for.
There's none that I know of specifically, because we keep pretty close eye on that is against trapping or anything like that. What we're here for is obviously to get out to the public.
Yeah.
We're here to talk to people about, we need research on gray fox.
Gray fox.
The gray fox are dwindling exponentially, and we want to know why. So several decades ago, we was bringing tens of thousands of gray fox being trapped. We ran through less than 30 through our sale last year. Less than 30 gray fox.
Less than 30?
Less than 30.
Dang.
There's something going on. There's a whole list of things that we think it can be, but we can't get the research to do it.
So what are some of the things that you think it is? Is it like a disease, or is it another predator of the gray fox? Or
coyotes a big issue because obviously they're territorial.
Yeah.
So that they'll kill any gray fox that they see. Another thing that we think personally, Lyme disease.
Okay.
Lyme disease will kill a gray fox, quicker than it will your dog.
Okay.
I
didn't know that.
Yeah. Another thing is our fur bear abolish at this time. They did some necropsies of some gray fox in Fisher. 50% of them had rodenticide. 50% of that study had rodenticide in them.
Okay. So you might want to explain that to our listeners. Most of them might not know what that is.
Rodenticide is rat poison.
Okay.
And what's the main thing that gray fox and fishers eat? They eat mice.
Yep.
They eat ground voles. They eat, anything that'll feed on stuff that you spray pesticide on. They eat.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that makes sense.
So that's part of our problem, I think. But it's a whole different, habitat, obviously, but we think a lot of it's, Lyme disease. There was one old timer that told me, he said, I asked him one time, I said, what do you think's going on? And this was at the fur sale 2 years ago. And he said, come here, I'll show you something. He said, you see all them spots on that fox? I said, yeah. He said, it's ticks. And he's got more boot leather in the mountains than most people around. So
he knows what he's talking about.
Exactly.
Huh?
I believe so too. And he's been around for a long time, and he was one of our master graders at the first sale. So he's seen a lot over his 80, 90 years.
Yeah, I got you. So what are some of the things that you like trapping the most?
What I like trapping the most, I like it all, but there's something about wading the creek when it's 17 degrees and you're breaking through that thin ice and you see the hind end of that muskrat floating.
Muskrat, okay.
There's just something about it. But yeah. I do like pulling up, and seeing a bobcat in a set. I just love it. The whole thing.
Now, do you go through the whole process of are you trapping just for the sport of it? Or are you trapping to sell the hides and the furs, or?
I trap it for the whole thing of it.
Okay. So you do the stripping of the hide and all that, and the tanning and all that yourself? I
don't tan, just because I'm not set up for it right now.
Okay.
What I do is, we go through the whole catch dispatch, I'll skin it out, flesh it, get it dried, and then I'll run it through our cell.
Okay, cool. Yeah, like I said, I've never trapped before, so I'm not very versed on that. But Dan, he traps a lot, and I'm not sure. I think he's caught a couple bobcats, but most of the stuff that he's trapping for is coyotes. Is that what you see in West Virginia, that most people are trying to catch as coyotes?
Yeah,
and to kind of manage that.
There was a big uptick in that. Yeah. Catching coyotes, because obviously something new comes in, that becomes more exponentially. Everybody blames everything on coyotes.
Yeah,
and it's not.
It seems to be that way.
Yeah, it's not always the case. A bobcat will take down your deer quicker than a coyote will.
Really?
Yeah. You got 4 sets of claws and teeth that sink into their neck.
Yeah.
The coyotes has got to have normally a pair to take them down, unless it's a sick one.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bobcats are threatening your deer, I think, worse than the coyotes are.
Yeah. So any regulations or anything that you would like to see changed within the trapping part of the sport?
Yes, the association would like to see an increase in bobcats. We can trap 3 in the state right now, and we'd like to see it increased. So we're working with our DNR on that. Not having a whole lot of headway with that.
So you think the population of bobcats is good enough to sustain more?
I do. I've got some trappers that tell me that they catch 14 in a season and have to let, they can only keep 3, so they let 11 of them go.
Wow.
And there's no natural predators to a bobcat.
Yeah. So when you're trapping and then you let it go without actually killing it, how does that affect that animal?
It makes them more wary.
Okay.
Of our traps or our sets. Our traps obviously are buried, but it makes them more aware of our sets. They keep more of an eye out for something like that. As far as hurting them, it don't hurt them. I can go over to the DNR table right now. They won't let us bring our traps in, so I'm referring to the DNR table because they have got actual steel traps over there. But
Okay, so there's different sets that you can use.
Yeah, I could go
different tension strengths and different things like that.
Exactly.
I got you.
But they got traps over there. I could go set my hand in right now and walk away, and it not hurt my hand.
I've actually heard of some traps. Well, I was talking to Sean about it, and they actually they're like soft set traps.
Yeah,
kind of like have a rubber casing around the front of it, so it won't actually damage the bone structure of an animal's leg or something like that. Like if you've got a lost pet and you try to get it to come back to you or something like that.
Yeah, that's called the BMP projects. The BMP projects kind of did that, and that's where that came from. It's called best management practices.
Yep.
There's a bunch of trappers back when that went through and tested all these different traps, and they kind of come up with that. Most people don't use that just because in order to dye and wax your trap, most people, you have to take that off, and that'll eventually, and the weather will eventually start breaking down and stuff like that. But
gotcha.
But you can use the regular steel jaws. You can still let an animal go with that. Like I said, I can stick my hand in one and ain't gonna hurt me.
So for somebody out there that's listening today that would like to get into trapping, what kind of advice could you give them, or what would some pointers be that you'd give them?
Get a hold of us. We're open. I got an open door policy. I'm on the website. My phone number is on there. Call me. I may not call you right back, but I will call you back. We also have a convention that's always the third weekend in September. We have an educational class that we'll run you through. We have 2 full days worth of trapping demonstrations from different trappers from around the country. And just come out and see us in September. If you're interested in getting into trapping, we'll hook you up.
Okay. Well, we sure appreciate your time today, and let everybody know how they can get a hold of you, your website and stuff like that. We have your QR code here on the bottom of our screen for your website. Give them some numbers and emails that they can contact you through.
It's wvtrappers.com. That's our website. And then we got a Facebook page. It's called West Virginia Trappers. It's a private group. Just get on there and say why you're on there. If you listen to this podcast and that's how you found out, put that in there. My phone number is 304-916-3329. I'm the president. Get a hold of me. And the email is info@wvtrappers.com. Get a hold of us. We'll hook you up if you're interested in trapping.
Okay, sounds great. A lot of good information that was given there, so be sure to go back and watch this if you ain't watching it live. So Jeremiah, the president of the West Virginia Trappers Association, we sure appreciate you coming on.
Hey, I appreciate you for letting me.
Yeah, thank you for your time. All right, guys, so we're going to have a couple other guests on here. We're leaving this live stream up, so you're probably hearing some music during the breaks, but we're going around talking to all the people here and just kind of networking and creating some more relationships in the outdoors. But just like, Jeremiah here with the West Virginia Trapper Association, I'd never spoke with anybody through there. I'd never trapped before, so I've learned some things today myself. And I wish Dan was here because he could have asked you all kinds of good questions. But we might have you back on for another full episode.
Okay.
I think that'd be great. Yeah. All right, guys. So we'll be back here in just a little bit. Hear a word from our sponsor. Thanks, guys, for listening in. Appreciate it. Do you want the true Western hunt experience? Book your hunt of a lifetime today with Highland Outfitters, LLC. Located in Highland, Wyoming, 50 miles west of Casper. Their location in central Wyoming gives you access to some of the best hunting areas in the state. Highland specializes in archery hunts for elk and antelope. Their operations include Wyoming, Texas, and Africa. Highland Outfitters employs some of the finest guides in the business. All guides are licensed by the Wyoming Board of Professional Outfitters and Guides. No matter what the species you decide to hunt, you can count on your guide giving you 110% of being the true professional guide from start to finish. Book your hunt today at 307-797-3311 or 307-797-3312. Visit them on the web at HighlandOutfitters.com. With Highland Outfitters, you will get the true Western adventure.
Hello, Hunt Chef Nation.
Turn any cooking experience into an extremely wild one with Hunt Chef's delicious dozen seasonings, jerky, snack sticks, and brine kits. All 12 seasonings are packed full of wild flavor. Perfect on pork, beef, chicken, lamb, vegetables, soups, venison, elk, or any wild game. Order today at huntchef.com or call the Hunt Chef headquarters at 724-780-3377. Order today at huntchef.com or call 724-780-3377. And remember, eat what you kill.
Folks, welcome to another episode of On the Limb Podcast with Nature's Voice Game Calls, where deer camp becomes a reality for every listener. Join us as we talk God, family, country, and everything outdoors. Kick back, relax, and have a listen. Now, here's your host and co-host, Mike and Dan.
All right, guys, we're back here at the Capitol in Charleston, West Virginia. We're up here at the Lower Rotunda, and we're here for the West Virginia Sportsman's Conservation Day. Backcountry hunters and anglers invited us up today so we can be a part of this with them. And, you know, they've kind of speared this whole thing and organized this to get all these people here. They thought, well, you know, everybody else has a day up there at the Capitol. Why can't we have a Sportsman's Day? So they kind of got all this together, and there's several different tables around here where people can go and get information and stuff like that. So we have, you know, we wanted to thank our legislators for their time and, you know, all the congressional members here during this session. So we appreciate their time and, you know, being the voice for us on those bills and things like that. Some things we want to get done, some things we don't want to get done. So it just depends on what your view is on that particular topic. But, you know, our state mission here today is to conserve public lands, waters, and access for hunting, fishing, and responsible outdoor recreation. So we want to do that and preserve that for generations to come. So now I've got Brad Blaine. He's with the West Virginia Deer Association, and he is the District 5 coordinator. So without further ado, please welcome with me, Brad Blaine. Brad, how you doing?
I'm pretty good, Mike. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, and I was telling you there a little bit ago, I've not met you before, but we've done several business dealings with the West Virginia Deer Association when Jeremy was in charge there.
Yes. Jeremy's still he's still involved with our organization,
Okay.
But we do have a changeover in leadership. But I actually had to sign over this past week and get ready for this event. So
Good.
We got to get a few things out, like you said, trying to get the word out about what our organization is here to our legislators and leaders, as well as anybody that just wanted to stop by today.
Yeah, definitely. So tell me a little bit about what you do in District 5.
Well, our organization is set up just like our DNR districts. You know, 6 districts, 6 different representatives.
Okay.
So I represent District 5, which is as geography would have it, make it the Capitol Day right in my backyard. But we try throughout the year to get our organization, that members that are part of our organization, involved in projects that revolve around the deer herd,
Okay.
deer habitat, and of course the deer hunters themselves.
Yeah. Nice. So any bills or anything that's being presented during this legislative session that you guys are kind of looking out for?
Sure, there is every year. I think every organization that represents sports, whether they're hunters or anglers, you know, we all keep an eye out on what bills are proposed. As you mentioned earlier, as you introduced in the podcast, some we're in favor of, some we're not, some we're just waiting to see. You know, as far as the actual legislation goes, sure, we'd like to see a little bit more outreach efforts by organizations such as the DNR and others. Because we had a real bad episode of episodic hemorrhagic disease in the upper Mid-Ohio Valley. You know, there's a lot of confusion with that. People confusing it with chronic wasting disease, which is a whole nother challenge. But we're talking to our leaders to try to get them to do a little bit more outreach in that regard, because there is a lot to wildlife management, especially when it comes to the deer herd. You know, our deer herd's a very passionate resource here in West Virginia.
I think there's more deer hunters in West Virginia than there is anything else.
Probably so. And we all cross over. You know, I'm a deer hunter and fisher and turkey hunter, all the above, as well as a trapper. So,
Good.
So we understand the needs of other hunters, just not deer. So,
okay. So what's some of the history behind the West Virginia Deer Association? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, I can try. I wasn't here when it initially formed, but a lot of people, one message I put out there is a lot of people think that we are part of the National Deer Association, or part of what was formerly known as the Quality Deer Management Association. And again, before Brad BB, before that time I was involved, the group was involved with some of the ideas that Quality Deer Management NDA had. But this is a homegrown West Virginia grassroots nonprofit organization.
Okay.
So as today and ever since its inception, this organization is not affiliated with them at all, with what's known as the National Deer Association. They put out a lot of good content and information, things on like wildlife diseases, habitat, some things concerning hunters as it pertains to deer hunting.
Okay.
But yeah, we're our own separate entity. We focus on those three pillars: herds, habitat, and hunters.
That's awesome. Yeah. I just put, we've got the QR code up there. So if you guys want to go to the website, check it out and see a little bit more about what they do. It's right there at the bottom of the screen. So anything else that you'd like to discuss before you get off today?
Lottie dottie, everybody. We welcome anybody, whether you like to deer hunt or just to deer observe. I was talking to a couple young people who came through today. What deer management and just wildlife management in general is about. We're all of our sportsman organizations that are represented here today understand that it's not a standalone practice.
Yes.
What affects whitetail deer management affects our early successional species like grouse.
That's right.
That's a hot topic. As well as other species as well. So we do disagree on things. People like Fords, others like Chevys.
Well, it's one of those things that within our communities, I think these days that a lot of people don't realize that you can agree to disagree.
That's right.
That's right.
I
mean, we need to get back to that.
Yes.
And I think that's what makes a community is a lot of different views and different beliefs and things like that. I mean, everybody's got a different belief and different view on things, but we can also come to an agreement to disagree on those things.
I agree.
And I think that's one of the good things about some of our society that's still left.
At least here in West Virginia.
Virginia, a lot of people come to West Virginia. They're like, man, I've never had anybody welcome me or treat me as well as those West Virginians do. I always hear that every time we go, different places. We travel in the summer and go down south, and the southern people and the northern people, we've been all the way to Maine and Connecticut and different places like that, and they always talk about West Virginians. So we're talked about in a good light.
I was going to say
all over the country.
Yeah. And I agree, Mike. It's one of those things that we have a strong outdoor heritage here in West Virginia, something I'm proud of. I'm sure yourself and everybody that's here today. And we're going to have disagreements, but at the end of the day, we're all out to conserve our natural resources the best that they can be.
Yep, for sure. Well, we sure appreciate you coming on today, and it was good meeting you.
Well, likewise.
Yep.
Thanks for having me.
All righty. Thank you, sir. All right, guys. So I think that concludes our session here. We might end up having Ed on. I'm not sure. He's over there talking right now. He just got back from the session. The session is still going on upstairs. I believe they said it ran till 2:00 yesterday. So it ran pretty late yesterday, but we're going to see how that goes. But we appreciate everybody listening and watching. We're going to leave the live on here for a little bit and see if Ed wants to come over and talk about the West Virginia Bowhunters Association and the banquet that they've got coming up. But we sure appreciate everybody watching and listening. And like I said, today, we're here to make our voice heard for public lands, waters, and keeping that preserved for all the generations to come. So we sure appreciate you guys. Thanks. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com. whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them. All right, guys. Well, that concludes our time here at the West Virginia State Capitol here in Charleston, West Virginia for the West Virginia Sportsman's Conservation Day. Like we said, backcountry hunters and anglers are the ones that kind of put this together and spearheaded the whole thing and organized it and done all the logistics for it. So we sure appreciate them and appreciate them inviting us up. So thanks everybody for listening. Thanks everybody for watching. Please get this out and share it. And, we'd like to have more people next year. So we'll put it out when when the date comes out for next year for this to happen, but it's most of the time during the West Virginia legislative session. So it'll be sometime during that part of the session. So be sure to check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcast. And we do have a Rumble channel now. So if you're a Rumble channel member, watcher, whatever it is, get out there and give us a follow on Rumble. So Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, and about 28 other different networks. We sure appreciate everybody listening. You all have a great day. Get ready for your next adventure. Longer days, warmer water, and brighter skies. There's no better time to hit the water and chase a little coastal magic. Whether you're booking a fishing charter, a sunset cruise, or just want to float and breathe, Coastal Marsh has got your summer adventure waiting. Departing daily from Little River, contact Captain Chris today at 304-807-7577 or book via email at chris@coastalmarscharters.com. Let's make this summer one for the books.